What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Miniatures Tavern. My name is Watts, and praise the Emperor and pass the ammunition. For today, we're taking a look at Combat Patrol Adepta Sororitas. Let's go! So let's go ahead and jump into the contents of the box. The Combat Patrol box for the Adepta Sororitas is called the Penitent Host, and you are going to get out of this box, you're going to get one Canoness Ellerine, you're going to get a squad of 10 Battle Sisters, you're going to get a squad of 5 Seraphim, you're going to get a squad of 5 Repentia, you're going to get a squad of 3 Acroflatulents, say that 3 times fast. You're going to get one Penitent engine, which is the creepy dude heretic tied to this machine, and you're going to get one Sororitas Rhino, which is going to be a dedicated transport that your sisters can just cruise around in and control aboard. Box comes in at 26 models total, and you're looking on the point scale at a points value of 455 points. You could pick up this box from Games Workshop directly for $160. As always, you can find it on Amazon for 10 to 15% off. The ones that I found are coming in at $132, or you can find them on eBay. At the time of the video recording, I was able to find a few for $136. Sometimes you can find them for cheaper. But there you go. So if you're looking to pick up this box, definitely hit those or check out the links below. We have links where you could pick up the box off of Amazon, and as an Amazon affiliate, you will help support the channel if you do so. So next, let's talk about how to equip your Combat Patrol models for the battlefield. As you can see here, Canoness Ellerine. This model is going to be equipped with a plasma pistol, a power weapon, or a rod of office. Your 10 sister battle sister squad, one sister superior is going to be equipped with a bolt gun, a bolt pistol, and a chainsword. 6 sisters are going to be equipped with bolt guns, bolt pistols, close combat weapons. One battle sister can be equipped with a bolt gun, a bolt pistol, a close combat weapon, and a simulacrum imperialis. One battle sister is equipped with an artificer crafted stormbolter, bolt pistol, close combat weapon, and one sister is equipped with a ministorm flamer, bolt pistol, and close combat weapon. Your fly gals right here, pretty fly for a fly gal. Your fly gals right here, one Seraphim Superior is going to be equipped with a plasma pistol and a power weapon, and the 4 others are going to be equipped with 2 bolt pistols and 2 close combat weapons. Your Repentia squad, which is right here, you're going to get one Repentia Superior, and she's going to be equipped with a bolt pistol and neural whips. And then your 4 sisters Repentia are going to be equipped with Penitent Eviscerators, so they can do some damage. Letter E, the Acroflatulents. Every model is equipped with Acroflails, and your Penitent engine is going to be equipped with Penitent Flamers, and you can either take twin Penitent Buzz Blades. Those are the ones I recommend, so we'll do Penitent Buzz Blades. And then finally, your Sororitas Rhino is going to be equipped with a Stormbolter and Armored Tracks, aka I like to refer to them as Happy Feet. So basically, you're just going to be running people over. But there is how you're going to equip your models. Moving right along, now we're going to take a look at the army rules, abilities, and enhancements for Combat Patrol Adepta Sororitas, the Penitent Host. So your main army rule or ability, and this is a cool one, is Acts of Faith. And that means each unit from your army can perform 1 act of faith per phase. This is done using miracle dice. So you're going to perform some actions and you're going to gain some dice, and these dice can be used to replace any rolls. How do you gain miracle dice? If your army faction is Adepta Sororitas, you gain 1 miracle dice at the start of each turn, and each time an Adepta Sororitas unit from your army is destroyed. Each time you gain a miracle dice, roll 1d6. The number you roll is the value of that miracle dice. This value cannot cannot be changed or re-rolled unless a rule specifically states otherwise. Keep your miracle dice to one side. This is your miracle dice pool. Now for your miracle dice, you're going to use these dice to perform acts of faith. And basically what that means is before you roll a save throw, before you roll an advanced roll, a battle shock test, a charge roll, a damage roll, a hit roll, a saving throw, or a wound roll, you will be able to replace that roll with these miracle dice. So if you have a threat and you really want to target somebody, instead of gambling and rolling the dice, you can just substitute these miracle dice to make that action go off for you. Pretty cool rule, miracle dice. Pretty awesome. Next, we're going to jump into enhancements. So you have 2 enhancements that you can choose from to put on your warlord, which is your canoness. So your canoness must be your warlord in this combat patrol box. First enhancement is Armor of Faith, and the bearer has the Feel No Pain 4-up ability. In addition, while the bearer is leading a unit, other models in that unit have the Feel No Pain 5-up ability. So this is going to give your models durability, and this is a good one to use because your battle sisters, the majority of your army only has 1 wound. So this is going to give you a little buff. This is going to give you a pip of survivability. This is a pretty good enhancement that you can put on the unit that your canoness is leading. Next up, you could choose that one, or you could choose the Saintly Relic. And this one, in your command phase, if the bearer is not battle shocked and is within range of an objective marker you control, you gain 1 miracle dice. In addition, while the bearer is on the battlefield, each time you gain a miracle dice, you can re-roll that miracle dice. Very powerful. This is a very powerful enhancement. So if you put this on your canoness, that unit, let's say you stick her with the 10-man battle sister squad, you're going to have an 11-man unit, and as long as they're not battle shocked and you're within range of an objective marker, you're going to be able to pick up a 3rd miracle dice, but you're also going to be able to re-roll that miracle dice. So if you're on your first roll, you get something that you're not happy with, you can risk it for the biscuit, as they said, and try to get a higher miracle dice. 2 really good enhancements. You're looking at one that offers you durability and more like defense and protection, and then you're looking at one that helps you bank more miracle dice to have in reserve for future actions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the secondary objectives. You have 2 objectives you can choose from. You can either choose Divine Judgment or Rites of Reconsecration. Divine Judgment, at the start of the first battle round, your opponent must select 1 unit from their army, excluding monster and vehicle units. At the end of the battle, you score 6 VP if that enemy unit is destroyed. If the enemy unit was destroyed by a melee attack made by an Adepta Sororitas model from your army, you score 10 victory points instead. Now, let's not kid ourselves here. We all know that your opponent is probably going to pick their meanest, baddest, beefiest model for you to kill. It could be good, though, if you can concentrate some fire or concentrate some models from your army onto the target that they pick. You're going to pick up 10 victory points. The next one, Rites of Reconsecration. From the second battle round onwards, at the end of your turn, you score 3 VP if 1 or more Adepta Sororitas units from your army that are not battle shocked are wholly within your opponent's deployment zone. So this one kind of forces you to get across the board. I don't know. I mean, you could stick those battle sister squad with a canoness if you're going to attach her into a rhino and run them up the board. You don't have to get out of the rhino in turn 1, so you could technically advance. The rhino in this combat patrol doesn't particularly have great weapons, so you might be able, or you might want to sacrifice the rhino's shooting for mobility. But the downfall with this is you're only going to get 3 victory points, right? So it's really going to depend on the mission you're playing. It's going to depend on how you're scoring primaries. It's going to depend on how you're scoring objectives. So you're almost kind of forced to take Divine Judgment and kill the unit that your opponent selects. You're kind of forced into that for 10 VP. So, but you could choose either one, however you want to play. One is definitely more offensive and killy. The second one is more recon focused, getting across that board and covering some distance. Moving on to stratagems. Now remember, stratagems are special abilities that you can spend your command points on in order to give your army an advantage during the battle. So hold on to those command points and let's see what you can spend them on. So the first stratagem is called Divine Protection. What that's going to do is until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a 5-up invulnerable save or a 4-up invulnerable save instead if your unit is a Battle Sister squad or a Seraphim squad. So this is going to give you guys some survivability. It's going to give you some protection. It's going to make you a little more durable. You can use this stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. The next stratagem is called Holy Cleansing, and what that's going to do is until the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models in your unit have the Lethal Hits ability. And you can trigger this in your shooting phase or your fight phase. So you can blow 1 CP and you're going to have lethal hits, which is really powerful because remember, lethal hits automatically go to wound. And then finally, the third stratagem is called Martyr's Death. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished its attacks and is then removed from play. So you're going to pop this in the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its target. And basically, in layman's terms, in the 40k world, this is known as fights on death. This is a really great stratagem to keep in your pocket. You might want to always try to keep 1 command point around in case you need to pop this, because what this is going to do is this is going to let you not go down without a fight. You know what I mean? You're going to fight on death. You're going to be able to deal some damage to your opponent's unit that just killed your model. So I would keep a CP around for Martyr's Death. The other ones are good as well. They're just as good. They're just a little way to give you guys a little leg up and just a little advantage on the battlefield. All right, so now it's time to take a look at the data cards and the character cards. First up, we have Canoness Eliran. Canoness Eliran, she can move 6 inches. Her toughness is 3. Her save is 3, but she also has a 4-up invulnerable save. She has 4 wounds. She's probably going to be your chunkiest model. Her leadership is 7, and her objective control or OC value is 1. She can be equipped with a plasma pistol. You're looking at 1 shot, hitting on 2s, strength 7, armor penetration -2 with 1 damage, or you can supercharge that. You'll hit on 2s, your strength will be 8, your armor penetration is going to be 3, and you're going to do 2 damage. But remember, anytime you supercharge a plasma weapon, you have to take what they call a hazardous test, and if you roll a 1, she's dead. Her melee weapon is 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 4, AP -2, 1 damage. And she is going to give your unit, while this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. So she's going to allow your unit to re-roll hits, and she can be attached to a Battle Sister squad. So you got 10 Battle Sisters in 1 squad. You tack on the Canoness, you're going to re-roll hits. And then you got your stratagems there, so don't forget about that. So pretty good. Next up is the Battle Sister squad. So again, they're going to move 6, toughness 3, and it's 3-up save. That's pretty consistent with Adepta Sororitas. They got 1 wound, like I mentioned earlier. A lot of your army only has 1 wound. Their leadership is 7, and their objective control is 2. They do have a 6-up invulnerable save, but you know, when you're rolling dice, a good rule of thumb is to always expect your roll to be 1. Remember, you do have Acts of Faith, so you can automatically save if you need to. Here are the weapon profiles: that the Artificer Crafted Stormbolter, Rapid Fire 2, a range of 24 inches, so if you're within 12, it's going to double your shots. You're going to hit on 3s like every weapon. Strength is 4, every weapon except the Flamer, and your damage is going to be 2, which is pretty good. You're going to have a pistol, the damage is going to be 1, you're going to get 1 shot. You got a bolt gun, it's 24 inches, you're going to get 1 shot, 1 damage. And then the Flamer, this ignores cover and is torrent. It's d6 attack, so remember, you roll 1 dice, and whatever that number that dice shows, that's the amount of attacks you're going to get. You have about a 17% chance of rolling a 6. These are going to automatically hit, and they have a strength 5, and they're going to do 1 damage. If you've equipped your models with chain swords, they're going to get 3 attacks. They're going to hit on 4s. Their strength is 3 and 1 damage. And close combat weapon, you're going to get 1 attack, hitting on 4s, strength 3 and 1. Now, you do have a squad of 10. And you do have what is called patrol squads. So before the battle, at the start of the declare battle formation steps, this unit can be split into 2 units, each containing 5 models. If you do so, one of those units must contain the model equipped with the Ministrum Flamer, and the other must contain the model equipped with the Artificer Crafted Stormbolter. So that is the only that is the only limitation, is that the Flamer and the Stormbolter, which are both higher profile weapons, they have to be split. You can't have them together. Your Seraphim squad, they move 12 inches because they're a fly unit. Their toughness is 3, their save is 3, they have a 5-up invul, 1 wound, leadership 7, objective control 1. Your 1 model is going to have the plasma pistol. And again, you're gonna have to take a hazardous test. If you supercharge, roll a 1, she's gonna, you know, she's gonna be slain. And your close combat weapon, I think one of my Seraphim models has a power weapon, but the others are close combat weapon. The power weapon is 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 4, AP -2, and 1. The abilities for this unit is Deep Strike. This is very powerful, and I didn't mention this earlier, but I want to talk about it right now. So with the Deep Strike rule, this unit can come in your at the bottom of your movement phase in turn 2, and you can Deep Strike into your opponent's backfield within 9 inches of enemy models, which will help you collect those 3 victory points for that secondary. It's just something to think about. They also have Angelic Ascent. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, if it's not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can make a normal move up to 6 inches. If it does, until the end of the turn, this unit is not eligible to declare a charge. I call this move shoot and dip. They can shoot and dip. They are vulnerable, though, to Overwatch. If you Deep Strike them and bring them in, your opponent can blow a command point for Overwatch. I've had it happen to me multiple times. So just keep that in mind. The Repentia squad, they have a bolt pistol, 1 attack, ballistic skill 3, 1 damage. They move 7 inches. Their toughness is 3 for the superior, 7 for the Sisters Repentia, with a 6-up invul save. This is kind of silly sometimes because there's no way you can roll a 7, so they're always going to be on the 6-up invul save. They have 1 wound. Their leadership is 8. Their OC is 1. The superior, her whip is anti-infantry 4, which means when you get to the wound roll, if you're fighting infantry models, you're going to automatically wound on 4 ups. If not, you're going to get 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 3, AP -1, 1 damage. And the eviscerators are going to be 2 attacks. They're going to hit on 4s. Their strength is 6. Their AP is -2. and their damage is 2. Their core ability is a Feel No Pain 5-up, which is definitely going to help mitigate that 7-up and that 6-up invul. Remember, if you fail that invulnerable save, you're going to be able to take the number of wounds that they suffered, roll those, and for any 5-up, you're going to shake that damage and not take that damage. So they also have Acts of Faith, so keep that in mind. And then their other ability is Overseer of Redemption. While this unit contains a Repentia Superior, each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, you can re-roll the hit roll, and if this unit made a charge move this turn, you can re-roll the wound roll as well. So here you have another unit that allows you to re-roll hits, and if you can get this unit into battle first and you can charge, you're going to re-roll hit rolls and you're going to re-roll wound rolls, which can really make a difference. It could turn the tide of a battle. Your Acroflatulence, they have a 7 save with a Feel No Pain 4-up, so we've already kind of explained how that works. Kind of silly to have a 7-up save, but here we are. They're going to move 7. They have 2 wounds each. Their leadership is 8 if you want to pass any battle shock tests, and their objective control is 1. Their acro flails have sustained hits 1, so if you roll 6s, you're going to pick up an extra hit, and they're twin linked, which means you're going to be able to re-roll the wound rolls. They're hitting on 4s, their strength is 5, and they do 1 damage. The Penitent Engine, or as I like to call him, the creepy dude on a machine. He's going to move 8, his toughness is 6, he's got a 4-up save, he's got 5 wounds, leadership is 7, and his objective control is 2. So far, this is the only model in this combat patrol box that has more than 1 objective control point. So you might want to start thinking about maybe using him to control some objectives. His flamers are Assault, which means he could advance and charge. He ignores cover, Torrent, which means that they automatically hit, and they're twin linked, which means you're going to re-roll the wound roll. These are 2d6 attacks, so you're going to take 2 dice, add those numbers together. That's going to be the number of your attacks. They're going to automatically hit. Their strength is 5, their AP is 0, they have 1 damage, and the pennant blades, the buzz blades are sustained hits 1. And twin linked, excuse me. So they're going to get 4 attacks. They're going to hit on 4s. Their strength is 10. Their AP is -3, and their damage is 2. So this is probably the heaviest hitter in this box, no doubt. It is the heaviest hitter in this box. Their abilities are Deadly Demise 1. So when he's destroyed, you're going to roll 1 dice, and if you hit that 6 unit, every unit within 6 inches of this model is going to take 1 mortal wound. He does have a Feel No Pain 5, which is going to give you a little durability. He does have Acts of Faith, and he has Endless Suffering, which means that this unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. So you're going to be able to advance. You're going to be able to charge. You're going to be able to shoot. And hopefully you're going to be able to get into battle and use those blades. Very, very solid model in this box. This is going to be your workhorse. Finally, rounding out the box, we have the Rhino, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Maybe you stick some models into this and try to get across the board as a distraction, while on the second turn your Seraphim come in and deep strike into your opponent's backfield. Moves 12 inches, toughness 9, saves on 3s with a 6-up invul, 10 wounds, leadership 7, OC 2. So you got the Penitent Engine with OC 2, you've got the Rhino with OC 2. They both move pretty quick. You can stick 12 models into this Rhino. This model has transport capacity of 12 Adepta Sororitas infantry models, but it cannot transport jump pack models. It cannot take your Seraphim. But I'm starting to see where I would probably run a Rhino, the Penitent Engine, and a squad of 10 Battle Sisters with a Canoness in this little castle formation right up the field to take some objectives. That's what I would do. I don't know. It's a good suggestion. Deadly Demise D3, so when it explodes, when it's destroyed, you're gonna roll a dice. On a 6, it's gonna explode and do D3 mortal wounds to any unit within 6 inches. And it has Firing Deck 2, which means that if you do have models in this unit, 2 of those models can shoot in the Rhino's shooting phase. The Rhino can take 2 of your weapon profiles, doesn't matter which 2, flamer, and flame weapon, and 2 of those models, the Rhino can shoot those weapons as if it was their own. And finally, guys, to wrap up the video, let's do our breakdown or our SWOT analysis. We're going to take a look at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats to the Adepta Sororitas Combat Patrol box. Let's start with strengths. Most definitely Acts of Faith. This is an army that gets you miracle dice. You can re-roll some of those depending on the secondary that you take or the enhancement that you take. And those are going to allow you to replace dice rolls for automatic passes. So that is a huge strength. Flexibility, there's a lot of flexibility in this box. You have a variety of models. You have shooty models, you have good melee models, you have a vehicle, and you have what basically amounts to a dreadnought. A little less stats than a dreadnought, but there's a lot of flexibility to build this box and to run this army configuration. And finally, support units. You got a lot of support here. We started talking about it earlier on how you could stack units and castle them together to move up the board to score objectives and grab your secondaries. So there's a lot of support. Let's talk about weaknesses. Most of the models are slow to move. You do have maybe 2 models that can cover 10 to 12 inches. Then you got your Seraphim, which can deep strike anywhere on the board within 9 inches of an enemy model. But your base infantry units are slow to move. This box, another weakness is it's very specialized. So you have models that are specifically built to do certain things. And if you waver from those specializations, you're probably going to find yourself in a lot of trouble real quick. And then a weakness, even though it is a strength, it is also a weakness. The model heavily relies, the box heavily relies and is dependent on the Acts of Faith mechanism in the army. So that could be a weakness, especially if you're rolling low miracle dice, or if you find yourself in a situation where you just don't have a deep enough miracle dice pool to pull from. Opportunities, this box contains a lot of elite close combat units. We looked at that with the Acroflatulence, the Repentia squad, and definitely the dude with on the machine, the Penitent engine. You have a lot of elite close combat units that can get in there and wackadoo pretty effectively. Versatile troops, again, you have a great selection. Even though a weakness of them is specialization, they are versatile. And a great opportunity, and I've talked about this already, is targeted elimination. If you can move your units together, and that is called castling, or castle your units together and go for the gusto, you really have a good opportunity to score that first secondary mission and grab 10 victory points. Threats to this army, finally, let's talk about threats. Any heavy armor or vehicle combat patrols are going to be a threat to this. So again, you've got Dark Angels with a Redemptor Dreadnought. You have Black Templars with the Impulsor with Multi-Meltas. You have Aggressors, again, in the Blood Angels box. So heavy armor and vehicles is going to be a threat to this model. Psychic powers is another threat to this model. So if you're looking at Grey Knights or Thousand Suns, You really don't have any kind of defense against psychic powers in this box, so that's just something to be aware of. And then finally, horde armies or swarm armies like the orcs or the Tyranids that really bring a huge amount of models to the battlefield. Again, I'm talking world eaters, you know, boxes that have 28, 30, 32 models. Is going to be problematic for the sisters. You just don't have the huge numbers to combat that, so you're going to have to be really strategic with the way you play the box. So just keep that in mind. And finally, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I go over the contents of Combat Patrol Adepta Sororitas. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. If there's a Combat Patrol that you would like me to review in the future, please drop that down in the comments. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the Adepta Sororitas Combat Patrol box. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.